Ready.
There's something eerie about the people you trust the most. Those we believe to be our mentors, our guides, can sometimes hide the darkest secrets. This is the story of how one teacher's forbidden relationships spiraled out of control, leading to a series of events that no one could have ever predicted. An affair with 8 students and a trail of deception that turned deadly. But how did it all go so wrong? Why didn't anyone stop it before tragedy struck? In this case, we'll answer the questions everyone is asking. What drives a respected educator to cross the line? What role did these students play in the deadly ending? And most importantly, why was no one able to stop the chaos before it was too late? Stay with me as we unravel the dark twists in this case, because by the end of this video, you'll understand just how dangerous love and betrayal can be. Jessica Harper was the kind of teacher every student liked, engaging, lively, and approachable. For years, she worked as an English teacher in a quiet suburban town, helping students who were often struggling at home. But beneath that caring exterior, she was living a double life.
Anybody got time for that?
What began as mentorship turned into something far more dangerous. It started with one student, but soon there were 8. At first, it was one, a senior who needed tutoring after class, but soon another followed, and then another.
Played yourself, dog.
Before long, Jessica had become involved with not 1, but 8 of her students. The town had no idea. Her husband had no idea. But in the halls of the school, rumors began to spread like wildfire. Students whispered, and teachers became suspicious. Yet no one stepped forward. Why? As I investigated the case, the picture began to form. Jessica wasn't just cheating on her husband, she was manipulating these students. Some were infatuated, others blackmailed, and all of them drawn into a dangerous game they weren't prepared for.
Everything you think you know about history is a lie.
But then, something went wrong. It was only a matter of time before someone found out. Jessica's husband began to notice the signs: late nights, secretive behavior, and then the ultimate betrayal. He found the messages. But what happened next, no one could have predicted. When Jessica's husband uncovered the affair, everything began to unravel. In a fit of rage, he threatened to expose her to the school, the police, and the entire town. He would take everything from her: the marriage, the career, the life she had built. But what Jessica didn't know was that her secret was about to come crashing down from another source entirely. One of the 8 students had become dangerously attached to Jessica, and when he realized she was using him, manipulating him like the others, his obsession turned deadly. His mind snapped. He decided that if he couldn't have her, no one could. In the dead of night, this student armed himself and entered Jessica's home. Her husband confronted him, and in a moment of pure rage and madness, it turned deadly. In the chaos that followed, a life was taken, and a community was left shattered. But that's not where this story ends. The tragedy didn't stop with one death. It spiraled. Jessica lost her family, her career, and her freedom. And the students involved, their lives were changed forever. But the question remains: how could it have been prevented? And why do these kinds of tragic affairs happen so often? This case isn't unique. It's a shocking example of what happens when authority is abused and lines are crossed. But the deeper question is, why do so many cases like this go unreported until it's too late? Why do victims stay silent? Why do schools and communities ignore the signs until the damage is done? The solution begins with awareness. We need to teach students to recognize when they're being manipulated. We need to empower victims to speak up before they're drawn too deep into these dangerous relationships. And schools need to take responsibility. They need to watch for the signs and act before it turns deadly. Because this story, this nightmare, could have been prevented. If you made it this far, then you already know how dangerous it can be to ignore the signs. Don't let this story become another statistic. If you or someone you know is being manipulated or abused, speak up. You could save a life. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Because in every case, every story, there's always a lesson to be learned.